The Honda VFR800 Interceptor is proof that you don't need to sacrifice comfort, reliability, or soul to enjoy a real sport bike after 45. And it's not alone, because we've got 20 motorcycles that deliver the perfect mix of performance, comfort, and control. These bikes won't wreck your back, won't empty your wallet, and absolutely will make you feel like a rider again. Number 20. Honda CBR 600F4i. The Honda CBR 600F4i is what happens when a sport bike grows up. It still has the soul of a racer, but now it's got manners, and that makes it a perfect machine for anyone over 45 who wants speed without the pain. Let's talk about comfort. Unlike most supersports that punish your back, the F4i gives you higher clip-ons, a plusher seat, and relaxed pegs. You don't fold yourself into a human origami just to ride it. You get performance, but without the price your body pays. Power? Oh yes, this inline-4 screams with about 110 horsepower at over 12,000 RPM. But here's the kicker, it's smooth as silk. No sudden jolts, no twitchy throttle, just pure linear thrust that builds like a rising storm. It weighs a lean 400 pounds, and the dual front disc brakes give you confidence in every stop. Handling? Precise, neutral, a total joy in the curves, and stable as a freight train on the freeway. Now the price, you can grab a used CBR F4i for about $3,500 to $5,000 depending on condition. New? You won't find one. They stopped making them in 2006. But this bike, it's timeless. This is the gentleman's sport bike. It's fast, it's friendly, and it looks like it just rolled off a dream. But if you think Honda's done building bikes for the older, wiser, faster crowd, just wait till you meet the next one. A sport bike that mixes sass comfort and sizzle like nothing else on the road. Number 19. Suzuki SV650S. Sometimes you want a sport bike that doesn't punish your wrists, one that won't make your knees cry after an hour. Enter the Suzuki SV650S, a sport machine that delivers a kick of adrenaline with a surprising side of comfort. At the heart of the SV650S is a 645 cubic centimeter V-twin engine. It's torquey, smooth, and thrilling without being overwhelming. You get about 70 horsepower, which may sound tame next to modern rockets, but twist that throttle and you'll be smiling before second gear. It'll hit 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds and tops out around 130 miles per hour, plenty fast for everyday fun. This bike weighs around 430 pounds wet with a seat height just over 31 inches, making it accessible for a wide range of riders. The semi-aggressive riding posture leans you forward just enough for sporty control without wrecking your back or shoulders. That's why this one's a hit with riders in their 40s, 50s, and beyond. You'll find used models in great shape from around $3,500 up to $6,000, depending on mods and mileage. New, it was discontinued in its S form. The last units shipped in the mid-2000s, but the standard SV650 continues today and retails around $8,000. And here's something riders never expect from this bike until they ride it. It might just handle better than the faster ones. But what if you want something older, with more grit, yet still fast enough to keep up? Number 18. Kawasaki Z1000. When you think of a power-naked bike that still hits like a freight train in your 40s and 50s, meet the Kawasaki Z1000. Packed with raw power, sharp styling, and modern ease, it's a bike that commands respect the moment you twist the throttle. At its heart roars a 1,043 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine, state-of-the-art DOHC, 16 valves, and a compression ratio of 11.8 to 1, delivering a whopping 142 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and 111 Newton-meters of torque at 7,300 RPM. That's pure, full-on thrust that still remains surprisingly smooth. Used Z1000S from earlier generations, 2010, 2016, now fetch between $9,000 to $11,000. The new Z1000 begins around $20,000 in regions where it's available. This is raw, modern exhilaration with a surprisingly friendly edge. It's a bike that says, I'm still fast, I'm still sharp, I've grown up, but I haven't softened. And if you think that's intense, just wait until you see a bike that blends pure sport DNA with touring comfort in a way only a few legends can. We're not done yet, but if you're liking the mix of comfort and speed so far, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Number 17. BMW R1250 RS. The BMW R1250 RS is where sport and comfort become best friends. The perfect machine for riders over 45 who refuse to compromise on power or posture. It's powered by a 1254 cubic centimeter air liquid-cooled boxer twin featuring BMW's shift cam variable valve timing, delivering a robust 136 horsepower at 7,750 RPM and 105 pound-feet of torque at 6,250 RPM. That's smooth, reliable thrust with zero surprises. With a seat height of just 32.3 inches, 79.9 centimeters, or lower with optional seat and risers, it's accessible even for those who thought saddle sores and high seats were locked in forever. Wet weight hovers around 536 pounds, light enough to hustle around town but planted enough to inspire confidence on twisty roads. Matching the engine is a 6-speed shaft drive that eliminates chain mess and gives you one less thing to fuss over. And suspension travel of 5.5 inches front and rear, 140 millimeters, soaks up bumps without giving your neck a workout. Handling, precise and predictable. Braking, dual 320mm front discs and a 276 rear disc, backed by BMW's full ABS and cornering traction control, ready for any road in any weather. Fuel capacity is 4.8 US gallons, 18 liters, meaning fewer stops between hotels or scenic viewpoints. New in 2025, pricing starts at $15,995 RP in the US. Used well-kept RS models hover around $10,000 to $12,000, depending on miles and options. This isn't just a bike, it's a national tourer and sporty beast in one package. It bridges the gap between heart-pounding performance and true long-ride comfort. The RS nails balance perfectly. However, there's another beast with all-out power, a friendly seat, and a roar you won't see coming. Number 16. Kawasaki Ninja H2SX. What if you could have a bike that delivers supercharged power without sacrificing long-range comfort? Enter the Kawasaki Ninja H2SX, a motorcycle that's basically a rocket with cruise control. At its core is a 1,014 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine with a supercharger. Yes, not turbocharged, supercharged. It cranks out 197 horsepower at 11,000 RPM and 101 pound-feet of torque at 9,500 RPM. Despite that wild performance, Kawasaki didn't forget about ergonomics. The seat height sits at 32.9 inches, and it feels lower thanks to the plush cushioning and wide seat. The riding posture is upright, comfortable, and designed for 1,000-mile days. New, it starts at $25,000. Used models from a few years back can be found for $18,000 to $21,000, depending on miles and condition. The H2SX is the bike for the older rider who still wants to feel alive, but not sore. But if tech turns you off and you crave raw mechanical goodness, there is a bike with tons of character and no computer meddling. Number 15. Yamaha R7. If you're dreaming of a sport bike that won't break your back or your bank account, meet the Yamaha R7, a machine that's proof you don't need a 1,000cc monster to have a heart-pumping good time. This thing is light, sharp, and absurdly fun. It packs a 689cc parallel twin engine, the same one from the MT-07, but don't let that fool you. Yamaha tuned it for the R7, and it hits hard in the mid-range. It's not about chasing red lines, it's about torque, baby, smooth, usable power that slams you forward out of corners. The chassis? Tight. It uses a narrow steel frame with an upside-down fork and a monoshock in the rear. The R7 corners like it's glued to the pavement, and with a weight just under 400 pounds, it feels like a feather compared to the heavier leader bikes. The ergonomics? Yes, they're aggressive, but not torture. It's a sport bike, not a torture rack. You can actually ride this thing on the street without needing a chiropractor afterward. And that look? Pure R-Series DNA, sleek bodywork, angry headlights, and that unmistakable Yamaha silhouette. It looks like an R1, but it won't eat your savings account for lunch. If you're a new rider looking to upgrade, or a seasoned track junkie wanting something light and flickable, the Yamaha R7 is that sweet spot. But if you're itching for something even lighter, a sport machine that loves corners and growls with every shift, then what comes next will hit you right in the nostalgia. Number 14. Suzuki SV1000S. Remember when sport bikes had soul? When the engine rumbled, not whined? The Suzuki SV1000S takes you right back. And if you're over 45, this one feels like a best friend you didn't know you missed. It's got a 6-speed transmission, twin front disc brakes with Takako calipers, and an aluminum twin-spar frame that keeps things light and nimble. Dry weight, around 420 pounds. Lighter than most modern sport bikes. Seat height is about 30.9 inches, ideal for most riders. Tall enough for visibility, low enough for confidence. Fuel tank holds around 4.5 gallons, and you'll get close to 40 miles per gallon, giving you plenty of range between fill-ups. The best part? Used SV1000S models go for as low as $3,000 to $5,000, depending on condition. No joke. That's an absolute steal for a sport bike with real grunt and classic lines. But if you crave something even more modern, sleek, lightweight, and unbelievably comfortable, what kind of bike would you want? We still have bikes coming up. This isn't just a list. Like the video if any of these bikes made you want to call the dealership. Also, subscribe for more videos like this. Number 13. Yamaha FZ1 1000. This is where pure power meets practical comfort. The Yamaha FZ1 1000, launched in the early 2000s, was marketed as the R1 for the real world. And for riders over 45, it's still one of the best deals in sport bike history. Under the semi-naked bodywork lives a 998 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled inline-4 featuring 20 valves and DOHC, derived straight from the legendarily fiery R1 engine. In its first generation, 2001 through 2005, it produced about 143 horsepower at 10,000 RPM and around 78 pound-feet of torque at 7,500 RPM. Later models rose to 150 horsepower at 11,000 RPM. With curt seat height of 32.3 inches, a weight of about 458 pounds wet, and wide handlebars, the FZ1 offers surprisingly relaxed ergonomics considering its pedigree. Used FZ1s go for about $4,000 to $6,000, while new ones once debuted at just over $8,500 MSRP nearly 2 decades ago. This machine serves up raw superbike performance wrapped in a friendly chassis, a rare combo for aging bodies craving fun without compromise. Even with that blend of power and refinement, a bike on our list takes things leaching fast and pairs it with a low seat and an engine note that will make you grin. Number 12. Ducati Monster 937. If you think the word monster means something wild, uncontrollable, or impossible to tame, you're half right. The Ducati Monster 937 is wild, but it's also one of the most refined naked sport bikes Ducati has ever built. With a lightweight chassis and a 93 horsepower, 937cc Testastretta V-twin, this machine feels alive under you. But here's the beauty. It's not overwhelming. It's fast, but it's manageable. It's sporty, but it's comfortable. That perfect in-between is exactly why so many riders over 45 fall in love with it. The riding position is upright, your hands aren't reaching for clip-ons, and your knees aren't jammed into your chest. The seat height is approachable, and the overall wet weight is just over 400 pounds, making it one of the most confidence-inspiring bikes in its class. You're not giving up technology either. It comes with cornering ABS, ride modes, wheelie control, and a quick shifter. But everything feels simple. Nothing here is overwhelming. You just hop on and ride. Brand new, you're looking at around $12,500, but you can pick up a clean used Monster 937 for about $8,000 to $10,000, and that's a steal for what you're getting. It's got style, punch, and heritage. And if you're someone who still wants a touch of aggression but doesn't want to feel beat up after every ride, this one's calling your name. But if you're craving something even lighter, agile, and built for touring ascendancy, there's a ride that does that, and then some. Number 11. KTM 890 Duke. This is the bike that redefines lightweight sport for mature riders. Meet the KTM 890 Duke, a razor-sharp naked sport bike that delivers brutal fun without torso torture. At its core roars an 889 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled parallel twin with DOHC and 4 valves per cylinder. It revs hard and delivers a potent 121 horsepower at 9,250 RPM and 99 Newton-meters of torque at 7,750 RPM, which translates to nearly 73 pound-feet of mid-range pull. Despite that firepower, it stays light, with a seat height of approximately 32.8 inches and a wet weight of around 405 pounds. This bike doesn't intimidate at stops or city speeds. New pricing for the 2023 Duke R hovers around $11,699, with late-model used bikes often found between $9,000 and $11,000 depending on condition and accessories. This is raw, validated street performance with surprising comfort. The ergonomics are upright enough for long rides, and the engine character is torque-rich, yet easy to manage. Number 10. Triumph Trident 660. Here's a modern classic that's quietly winning hearts. The Triumph Trident 660. Don't let the entry-level tag fool you. This mid-weight machine is pure British aggression, wrapped in comfortable ergonomics and daily rideability. Let's talk power. The Trident's 660cc inline triple engine produces around 80 horsepower and 47 pound-feet of torque. That means you've got torque everywhere, from the city grind to the backroad blast. And it does all that while remaining light and flickable at only 416 pounds wet. Low seat height? Oh yes, just 31.7 inches, which makes it super accessible for riders of all sizes, especially those over 45 who want a thrill without the stretch. New, you're looking at around $9,500. Used ones in excellent shape, you'll find them for about $7,000. And because it's a Triumph, you know it'll hold up over time, both in performance and looks. But if you thought the Trident was refined fun, wait until you see another bike that's got twice the muscle and an attitude that won't take no for an answer. Number 9. Honda VFR 800 Interceptor. The Honda VFR 800 Interceptor is the kind of machine that proves age means experience, and experience knows comfort and speed can coexist. This isn't your average sport bike. It's a refined V4 legend that's been whispering through mountain passes and carving highways since the 1980s. At the heart of the VFR is a 782cc liquid-cooled V4 engine producing around 105 horsepower, and that V4 sound, it's a symphony. A deep guttural growl that no inline-4 can match. The engine is smooth, the power band is linear, and the throttle response is as predictable as the sunrise. You're getting a single-sided swing arm, chain drive for low maintenance, and ABS for added confidence. This bike isn't about bragging at the cafe, it's about owning the road with class. The seat height sits at 31 inches, perfect for average-sized riders, and the wet weight comes in at just over 580 pounds, giving it planted road feel without being a beast to maneuver. You get Honda's famed reliability. This thing will outlive most riders and then some. With its sport touring geometry, you can lean into corners or cruise for hours. It's a true gentleman's sport bike. Prices? A used model in good condition runs around $6,000 to $8,000, depending on mileage and mods. New ones are harder to come by. Production has fluctuated, but if you find one, expect to pay around $11,000. This bike is perfect for riders over 45 who want performance without pain. It's not flashy, it's not overwhelming, it's just right. But if you want a sport bike that feels like a scalpel in traffic, yet light enough to throw around in your late 40s without sweating, there's an Italian machine that might just steal your heart. You've made it halfway and the best is still coming. Don't blink and don't forget to hit that bell. Number 8. Aprilia Tuono 660. Now here's a motorcycle that speaks fluent emotion, the Aprilia Tuono 660. This isn't just a lightweight naked bike. This is a featherweight fighter with serious sport bike DNA and a surprisingly comfortable soul. Powered by a 657cc parallel twin engine derived from Aprilia's R660, the Tuono 660 cranks out about 95 horsepower and 45 pound-feet of torque. It's got enough punch to wake up your senses without making you feel like you're wrestling a dragon. The ergonomics? Spot on. You sit slightly forward but not wrist-crushing like a SuperSport. The bars are wider, the pegs are friendlier, the seat height sits at 32.3 inches, and the wet weight is just 414 pounds, which is ridiculously light for the amount of performance you're getting. For older riders, especially those over 45, this bike brings back the fun without the fatigue. You won't get cooked by heat, you won't hate your back after an hour, and best of all, it's affordable. A brand new Aprilia Tuono 660 660 sells for around $10,500. A good used one can dip down to $8,000 depending on the year and extras. If the VFR is your tuxedo, the Tuono is your leather jacket. Rebellious, exciting, and effortlessly cool. But what if you want the comfort of a sport bike and the rugged go-anywhere ability of an ADV? Well, one particular brings both worlds crashing together. It's the number 7 of our list, the Yamaha FJR1300. It is the undisputed heavyweight champion of sport touring bikes. And for riders over 45, this is the ironclad machine that delivers speed, comfort, and class all day long. Underneath its sleek, wind tunnel-tested fairing is a 1,298cc inline 4 that produces around 141 horsepower and 101 pound-feet of torque. This engine is buttery smooth. It doesn't scream like a race bike. It pulls like a freight train, strong, steady, and relentless. You get a 5-speed transmission, yes, only 5, but it's so torque-rich, you'll never miss a 6th, and a shaft drive, which means minimal maintenance. The seat height is adjustable between 31.7 and 32.5 inches, and the wet weight, a stable 689 pounds. Sounds heavy, but once rolling, it glides like a dream. This isn't just about power. The FJR is built for the long haul. Standard features include heated grips, cruise control, an electronically adjustable windshield, and even hard saddlebags. And if you opt for the FJR 1300 ES, you also get electronically adjustable suspension, perfect for older riders who want to tune the ride to perfection. Fuel capacity, a massive 6.6 gallons. You can go nearly 250 miles before you even think about gas. Prices, a brand new was around $18,000. Today, a clean used model sells for $8,000 to $12,000, and it'll eat up miles for years to come. But there is something that blends sport and sophistication in a way only the Italians can. Number 6, Ducati SuperSport. 950, you don't need a Panigale to feel like a Ducati rider. The Ducati SuperSport. 950 is a stunning, accessible alternative for older riders who want sporty vibes without the neck-wrecking ergonomics. This is the gentleman's Ducati, still fast, still gorgeous, but actually comfortable. Powering this Italian beauty is a 937cc Testastretta L-twin, making 110 horsepower and 69 pound-feet of torque. That means usable power torque right where you need it. No peaky power bands, no drama, just smooth, predictable pull. It's paired with a 6-speed transmission and an optional quick shifter for clutchless up and down shifts. The seat height is 31.9 inches, and the wet weight is about 463 pounds, making it lighter and more manageable than you'd expect from a fully fared sport bike. The riding position, slightly forward, but not risk-killing. You get higher bars, a comfortable seat, and great wind protection. There's even a touring version with a taller screen and saddlebags. This bike loves curves, but it also cruises like a sport touring champ. A brand new Ducati SuperSport 950 goes for around $15,000, while a clean used one ranges from $10,000 to $13,000, depending on trim and mileage. This bike is perfect for the mature rider who still wants to feel something every time they twist the throttle. It's not for showing off, it's for you. But maybe you would love something with a German badge and boxer engine? Number 5, Aprilia Tuono V4 1100. If a sport bike ever wore a tuxedo and still threw punches in a back alley, it would be the Aprilia Tuono V4 1100. This machine is refined chaos, blistering speed, razor-sharp handling, and just enough comfort to fool you into thinking it's civilized. But twist the throttle and you'll realize it's anything but. It packs a 1077cc V4 engine that cranks out around 175 horsepower. That's not just fast, it's violently fast. And the sound? It's a metallic opera. At full song, it howls like a banshee. It doesn't whisper performance, it screams it. But here's why it works for riders over 45. The upright riding position, wide handlebars, and suspension that actually thinks make it incredibly controllable. You're not hunched over like a teenager on a track day. You sit tall, you feel planted, and every ride feels like you're tapping into something wild without being punished for it. The electronics package is fully loaded: ride modes, cornering ABS, traction control, quick shifter, wheelie control, but it's all tuned to feel natural, not gimmicky. It helps you ride better without getting in the way. A brand new Tuono will cost around $17,000 to $18,000, but you can score a used one in great shape for about $12,000 to $13,000. And every dollar feels like money well spent the moment that V4 roars to life. But if you want something with even more middleweight agility, a triple-cylinder whine, and a surprisingly low price tag, there's a lightweight street fighter that might just be your perfect second wind. Number 4. Yamaha MT-07. You don't need a super bike to feel alive. You just need a machine that responds to every flick of your wrist like it's been waiting for your command. That's the Yamaha MT-07, the no-nonsense, rider-first sport bike that's been quietly stealing hearts for over a decade. Under that minimalist, aggressive bodywork is a 689cc parallel twin that makes around 75 horsepower and 67 pound-feet of torque. But the numbers don't tell the whole story. What makes the MT-07 legendary is its pure linear power delivery. You twist, it goes, from idle all the way through the red line. It's a bike that feels alive under you. Weighing just 403 pounds wet, the MT-07 is lighter than most starter bikes. That means low effort at low speeds and total control in tight corners or heavy traffic. And for riders over 45 who don't want to wrestle a beast, this thing feels like an extension of your body. The best part? It's affordable. A brand new MT-07 costs around $9,000, while clean used models from recent years go for $6,000 to $7,000. A crazy deal for what you're getting. The MT-07 doesn't have the flashiest tech. It doesn't care, because what it delivers is raw, pure fun. And guess exactly what this next bike delivers this to. At number 3, BMW F800 GT. If you're the kind of rider who still wants sporty performance but refuses to suffer for it, the BMW F800 GT is a quietly brilliant option that most people overlook, and that's their loss. This is the sport touring bike for adults, for riders over 45 who want refinement, balance, and a little bit of German engineering without the weight and complexity of a full-size BMW Tour. At its heart is a 798cc parallel twin, tuned for smooth, usable torque, about 90 horsepower and 63 pound-feet of torque. That's more than enough to carve up mountain roads or cruise effortlessly on the highway. But unlike big inline 4s or V-twins, this engine is smooth, quiet, and calm at low RPMs, perfect for long distances. The F800 GT weighs just 467 pounds wet, which makes it dramatically easier to handle than a full-on RT or GS. Add in the low seat height, just 31.5 inches, and you get a bike that flat futs at stoplights and feels light at low speeds. Comfortable, reassuring, and senior-friendly. A brand new F800 GT used to cost around $12,000, but used ones in excellent condition now go for $6,000 to $8,000. A stellar deal for a well-built machine that's more about the journey than bragging rights. And what's even more surprising than the comfort of this Bavarian beast is our number 2, the Triumph Sprint GT 1050. For riders over 45 who still yearn for speed but refuse to sacrifice comfort, the Triumph Sprint GT 1050 delivers a near-perfect balance of sport and touring. This bike doesn't scream for attention. It whispers class and roars when you twist that throttle. Powering this machine is a 1,050 cubic centimeter inline triple engine, producing around 130 horsepower and a gutsy 79 pound-feet of torque. That means you're getting linear, torque-rich acceleration that pulls hard in every gear. No surprises, just raw controlled power with the distinctive growl of a British triple. Weighing in at about 535 pounds wet, the Sprint GT is a solid, confidence-inspiring ride, especially on highways or long tours. The seat height sits at around 31.5 inches, giving most riders an easy standover and better balance at stops. You also get a generous 5.3-gallon fuel tank, so you're not pulling over every hour. And yes, it comes with standard hard luggage, so you can pack up for a weekend getaway or a cross-state cruise without a second thought. Add in a comfy riding position and a smooth 6-speed gearbox, and you've got a sport bike that won't destroy your back or your wrists. New models are hard to find, but a good condition used unit will cost you between $5,000 and $8,000, depending on mileage and accessories. And trust me, that's a steal for what this machine offers. If you want old-school sport bike soul without sacrificing your knees, back, or wallet, this is your ticket. But what if you're looking for something even lighter and easier to handle, with the same touring edge? And our number 1 has all that and more. We've counted down the legends. Now for the king. At number 1, the Suzuki Katana 1000. If you're over 45 and still want to feel the thrill without wrecking your back, the Suzuki Katana 1000 just might be your golden ticket. This bike isn't just a looker, it's a beast with brains. Underneath the sharp throwback bodywork is a refined 1000cc inline-4 pulled straight from the GSX S1000. It cranks out around 150 horsepower, but it's the way it delivers power that makes the Katana a joy for mature riders. Smooth, predictable, no surprises, just torque when you need it and grace when you don't. You get a 6-speed transmission with a bi-directional quickshifter, so gear changes feel like slicing warm butter. The ergonomics are relaxed compared to most sport bikes. Higher bars, mid-set pegs, and a surprisingly comfy seat make this thing more back-friendly than you'd expect from a bike with this much bite. At just over 490 pounds wet, it's easy to handle. And with radial-mounted Brembo brakes and adjustable KYB suspension, it's just as ready for mountain twisties as it is for your daily commute. Fuel capacity, a solid 3.2 gallons, not huge but manageable. Seat height sits at around 32.5 inches, comfortable without being too tall. Now here's the kicker. A new Katana will run you around $14,000, but a clean, low-mileage used model from a few years back, you're looking closer to 9 to 10 grand. It's not just a motorbike, it's a modern-day samurai, made for riders who've been there, done that, and still want just one more good ride. Been riding for years? Drop a comment with your first sport bike. Let's see who's got the best throwback story. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Also, there's another video coming up on your screen. Click on it, and I'll see you on the other side.